Hello my dear children. So in this video we'll go through the rest of the reading and explanation of the chapter Weathered Friend. So let's begin. Claribel thrived and grew fat. On the whole, we had little trouble hiding our unauthorized guest. Unauthorized means without permission. She was guest who was brought onto the space without permission when VIPs from Earth came visiting. A space station has more hiding places than you can count. The only problem was that Claribel got rather noisy when she was upset. We sometimes had to think fast to explain the curious peeps and whistles that came from ventilating shafts and storage spaces. Peeps means the sounds that Claribel made. There were a couple of narrow escapes, but then who would dream of looking for a canary in a space station? Narrow escapes means a barely successful escape from something undesirable, or very close to be caught with Claribel on space station. So, there in space, Claribel was flourishing very well. Everything was going very well until VIPs from Earth went there for a visit because they had little trouble in hiding Claribel. Narrator called Claribel an unauthorized guest as she was brought on space station without permission. Narrator says that there was no problem for searching hiding places for Claribel as a space station has sufficient hiding places. The only problem was that Claribel became very noisy at times, especially when she was upset. She got upset when she was kept in hiding places. She didn't like it at all. So they had to think very fast to give excuses from the peeps and whistles that came from Claribel's hiding places. Although there were moments when they could barely avoid the whistles, they could give no reason, no excuse of whistles of Claribel, and was very close call for them to be caught. No one could think of looking for a canary in a space station. We were now on a 12-hour watches. 12-hour watches means it was a period of duty. So, which was not as bad as it sounds, since you need little sleep in space. Though, of course, there is no day and night when you are floating in permanent sunlight. It was still convenient to stick to the terms. Certainly, when I woke up that morning, it felt like 6 a.m. on Earth. I had a nagging headache and vague memories. Nagging means causing continual pain or recurring pain, and vague means not clear, not clearly understood. The memories were not clear to him. Memories of fitful, disturbed dreams. Fitful means irregular or discontinuous. So they were on 12 hours of duty, which was a long working period, but it was okay for them as they need very little sleep in space. When narrator woke up after his period of sleep time, it seemed like it was 6 a.m. in the morning on Earth to him. He had continuous headache and short discontinuous troubling dreams which disturbed his sleep. I was still only half awake when I joined the remainder of you in the mess. Breakfast was unusually quiet and there was one seat vacant. Where's Sven? I asked. He's looking for Claribel, someone answered. Says he can't find her anywhere. She usually wakes him up. Before I could retort that she usually woke me up too, Sven came in through the doorway. Retort means a quick reply. We could see at once that something was wrong. He slowly opened his hand, and there lay a tiny bundle of yellow feathers with two clenched claws. Clenched claws means the claws of that bird was tightly closed, sticking pathetically up into the air. What happened? We asked, all equally distressed. I don't know, said Sven mournfully. Mournfully means feeling or expressing sorrow. I just found her like this. So the narrator joined the remaining period of duty half awake and asked everyone where was Sven, to which someone replied that he was looking for Claribel as she was missing and he couldn't find him anywhere. And he added that she usually woke him up. Listening to this, before narrator could give a quick reply that she woke him up too, they saw Sven calm and present there, could sense that there was something wrong looking at his face. Sven then slowly opened his hand, and in his hand, they saw Claribel lying unconsciously with her claws tightly closed up in the air. Everyone wanted to know anxiously what happened to her. Sven sadly replied that he didn't know and just found her unconscious like that. Let's have a look at her, said Jock Duncan, our cook, doctor, dietitian. We all waited in hushed silence. Hushed means being calm and quiet. While he held Claribel against his ear in an attempt to detect any heartbeat. Presently, he shook his head. I can't hear anything, but that doesn't prove she's dead. I've never listened to a canary's heart, he added rather apologetically. Apologetically means expressing an apology or showing regret. So, looking at Claribel's condition, their cook, doctor, and dietitian, whose name was John Duncan, took her to have look at her and held Claribel against his ear to detect her heartbeat. While he was checking Claribel, everyone waited silently. Then Jock Duncan shook his head and said that he could not hear Claribel's heartbeat, but that doesn't mean that she was dead, and showed regret to have never listened to a canary's heart. Give her a shot of oxygen, suggested somebody, pointing to the emergency cylinder beside the door. Everyone agreed that this was an excellent idea. Claribel was tucked into a face mask that was large enough to serve as a complete oxygen tent for her. So then somebody suggested to give her shot of oxygen, for might be she was having problem in breathing as they were in space, and due to breathing problem she fainted. Everyone agreed, and then Claribel was kept into oxygen face mask which was large enough for her body. To our delight surprise, she revived at once. Revived means to come back to consciousness. Beaming broadly, beaming means smiling happily. Sven removed the mask and she hopped onto his finger. Hopped means she jumped over onto his finger. She gave a series of sharp trills and promptly keeled over again. I don't get it, lamented Sven. What's wrong with her? She's never done this before. So after she was given oxygen, she came back to consciousness at once. Looking at Claribel back to consciousness, Sven was very happy, and then he removed the oxygen mask from her and she jumped over Sven's finger, whistling and making sound. But then again she fell down because of her sickness. Then again Sven became sad and said he didn't understand what was wrong with Claribel, as she had never been like that before. For last few minutes something had been tugging at my memory. Tugging at my memory means trying or struggling to remember something. My mind seemed to be very sluggish that morning, as if I was still unable to cast off the burden of sleep. I felt that I could do with some of that oxygen, but before I could reach the mask, understanding exploded in my brain. I whirled on the duty engineer. Whirled means to turn around, and said urgently, Jim, there's something wrong with the air. That's why Claribel's passed out. I've just remembered that miners used to carry canaries down to warn them of gas. Miners means people who work in mines. So, looking at Claribel's condition, narrator sensed something wrong related to her sickness, as something was deep down there in his memory which he was struggling to remember, but his mind was not active enough that morning, as he just woke up and was still half awake. He thought of taking shots of oxygen so that he could remember something, but before his hands reached oxygen mask, he remembered something and understood why Claribel passed out. He then suddenly turned around and said to the duty engineer that something was wrong with the air, and that was the reason why Claribel had passed out. And further, he added that he just remembered that people working in mines used to carry canaries to the mines to detect the presence of toxic gas and warn them about it. So basically, narrator wanted to tell everyone that the air was toxicated and was harmful, and that was the reason that Claribel passed out. Nonsense, said Jim. The alarms would have gone off. We've got two circuits operating independently. The second alarm circuit isn't connected up yet, his assistant reminded him. That shook Jim. He left without a word while we stood arguing and passing the oxygen bottle around. Listening to what narrator said, Jim, the duty engineer, disagreed to him and said that if that was the case, the alarm with two circuits working independently fitted in the space station would have given signal to them. Then Jim's assistant hesitatingly reminded him that only one alarm circuit was working and the second one was not connected. This made Jim disturbed. He was scared and he left without saying anything, and others remained there, arguing and taking shots of oxygen by passing the oxygen bottle to each other. He came back 10 minutes later with a sheepish expression. It was one of those accidents that couldn't possibly happen. We'd had one of our rare eclipses by the Earth's shadow that night. Part of the air purifier had frozen up, and the single alarm in the circuit had failed to go off. $500,000 worth of chemical and electronic engineering had let us down completely. Without Claribel, we should soon have been slightly dead. So then Jim came back after some time, embarrassed with himself for being careless. They almost got into accident that couldn't happen because of Claribel's warning and narrator's intelligence. They had a rare lunar eclipse that night, and their air purifier had frozen up, due to which the harmful gases could not get purified and it became toxic for them, which Claribel sensed first. And also the single alarm circuit which was working failed to give signal. All those costly chemical and electronic engineering had disappointed them, and without Claribel, they would have got into a very serious accident, making them slightly dead. So now, if you visit any space station, don't be surprised if you hear an inexplicable snatch of bird song. There's no need to be alarmed. On the contrary, in fact, it will mean that you are being doubly safeguarded at practically no extra expense. So now, ending his story, narrator gives a short conclusion that if anyone visits any space station from now, don't get surprised or alarmed if you hear any unexplained short peeps and whistle of songbird. Just consider that you are being protected against the possible dangers at practically no extra cost. So children, I hope you are clear with this chapter. Try to do the exercise